football. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm always honest with you guys, but I'm going to really be honest with you guys. I've been trying very hard to shed the label of being a quote-unquote Canelo hater, right? Because the reality is I don't hate Canelo. Believe it or not, I don't hate the guy. Maybe at one point I did, but then I matured, and then I realized you can't hate anybody, especially if you don't know them. So I don't hate Canelo. But every now and then, Canelo will talk, and he'll say some bullshit, and he'll take me back to that place where I don't like him. And this right here is getting me back to them days. It's getting me back to those, back in 2022, summer of 2022. You guys know, if you were around back then on True School, you know what era that was here on True School Sports, and that was the Canelo exposed by Bivol era, all right? Lost to Bivol. He tried to handpick Bivol because he thought it was going to be an easy fight. He thought he was smart. He wasn't so smart. He got schooled and he got exposed. You can say what you want about it and try to rewrite history, but that was why he picked Bivol. He didn't pick Bivol because he thought he was the best fighter he could fight. He picked Bivol because Bivol wasn't looking spectacular in the fights leading up to that fight against Umar Salamov and Craig Richards. And he thought because he looked unspectacular in those fights and he didn't fight nobody and he had a belt that he could become a two-time light heavyweight champion. But guess what? He made a bad miscalculation and got severely and thoroughly outclassed. Now, we know that ever since Terence Crawford defeated Errol Spence Jr., this whole Terence Crawford Canelo thing has been floated around. Now, I'm a boxing purist. I'm a boxing nerd. Call me crazy. I would rather see Canelo Alvarez fight Benavidez, and I'd rather see Terence Crawford fight Jaron Ennis. Why? Because I just feel like it'd be cooler to see those guys dominate their weight classes. But I understand that Canelo versus Crawford would be the biggest event boxing could possibly produce, especially when you talk about Terence Crawford and what he did against Errol Spence and his, elevated stardom along with what Canelo brings to the table. It would be something unlike anything we've seen in the sport in many, many, many years, potentially decades, in terms of what it would do at the box office and in terms of excitement, right? So Canelo Alvarez was talking about Terence Crawford, and he was talking out the side of his lip, and he was honestly and truthfully speaking some nonsense. So I'm going to read you guys what he said, word for word, verbatim, and we will dissect from there. Canelo Alvarez stated the following, and I quote, "Like I've always said, I respect Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he's won just one big fight. If you see his record, he's just beaten one good fighter. Other than that, I don't think he's beaten other great fighters," end quote. Now, Canelo always does this. He always tries to pull out that resume, and people have done a great job of trying to make it seem like Canelo Alvarez has some Salvador Sanchez-esque resume. And the reality is he does not have a Salvador Sanchez-esque resume. Salvador Sanchez died at like 22 or whatever it was, and in his 22 years on earth, he accomplished more than Canelo Alvarez has, and he's still living. So marinate on that for a little bit. But listen, Errol Spence Jr. is a fantastic fighter. And truth be told, of the guys that Canelo has legitimately beaten, because I don't think he beat Golovkin in the first or second fight. Honestly, I don't think he beat Golovkin in the first, second fight. You know what happened with Mayweather, and you know what happened with Bivol. We don't got to go into that one, okay? I don't think even if I was to sit here, right, if I was to agree with Canelo Alvarez, and I'm not trying to nitpick him because I do think he is an A-level fighter. I think he's beaten some really good fighters, but I always thought his resume has always been a tad bit overrated. Just being honest, because I don't think he beat Golovkin in either one of the two fights. He had more of an argument for the second fight. I'm not angry if you think he won the second fight, but he damn sure didn't win the first. And when he fought Mayweather and when he fought Bivol, he lost to those guys as well. And he had some fights early in his career against guys like Larry Mosley that were kind of close, that could have went either way. So and I don't mean Shane Mosley. I'm talking about Larry Mosley, his American debut. Go look it up if you haven't seen it. I thought that fight was kind of close. Even if Crawford has only beaten one great fighter, quote unquote, it's one more than Canelo's being, because Canelo Alvarez has never defeated a great fighter, legitimately. Because Austin Trout, I mean, maybe Austin Trout, but Austin Trout, he's a very good fighter. I don't know if you could say Austin Trout was a great fighter, but he was very good in his time. I'm not gonna say that wasn't a fantastic win for Canelo, because it was. But my thing is this: Canelo's gonna keep talking. I hope he just does what he's supposed to do against Jermell Charlo. Okay, if he does what he's supposed to do against Jermell Charlo, I already know I'm not getting the draw on Ennis fight. All right, so I'm not gonna beat that like a dead horse. I spoke my piece on Crawford versus Ennis. I know I'm not getting it, so there's no point in me, getting angry about it. Canelo Alvarez, when the time comes, because I know he's not gonna fight Benavidez. I know he's not gonna fight Andrade if he wins the fight. I know Crawford's not gonna fight Boots, so I gotta be realistic. If he beats Charlo, he needs to fight Terence Crawford. Then F it, fight Terence Crawford, because there's a lot of people that think that Crawford can beat Canelo. I think Crawford can beat Canelo. Honestly, I really do think he can beat Canelo. I mean, he says that Terence Crawford hasn't fought any great fighters, and what he doesn't realize is by discrediting Terence Crawford's resume, he's discrediting his own resume. And it's kind of the same thing that goes back to what I used to say back about him when he would criticize Andrade's resume back in the day. He fought Amir Khan. Canelo I'm talking about. He fought Amir Khan. Amir Khan fought Crawford. So if you're discrediting Amir Khan, you're discrediting yourself. Okay? Terence, I think, has always had a bit of an underrated resume. And I think Canelo's had always an overrated resume. It's not to say that Canelo doesn't have great fighters. He's fantastic fighters he's beaten. Miguel Cotto, a little bit past it, but, still a good Miguel Cotto who had defeated Sergio Martinez. Very good win. Austin Trout, very good win. But nothing like Canelo. Let's be real. Canelo hasn't really, when you look at the guys he's legitimately beaten, he ain't legitimately beaten nobody special. All right? The 2 or 3 guys you could say were legitimately special that he fought in his career, he never beat any of them. He got the decision against Golovkin in the rematch, but, I don't think he beat him in either one of the 2 fights. And he got schooled by Mayweather, and he got schooled by Bivol. I have never seen Terence Crawford have a close fight. I have never seen him get thoroughly outclassed over the course of 12 rounds. I've seen Canelo get thoroughly outclassed over the course of 12 rounds at minimum of at least twice. In my opinion, 3 times if you count the first Golovkin fight. So he needs to really stop this resume talk, because his resume ain't all that great. Especially when you want to start comparing it to the great Mexican fighters like Eric Morales or even like a Salvador Sanchez. Nobody compares to what Salvador Sanchez did. Knocked out multiple Hall of Famers before he was even he still had so much more to do, Salvador Sanchez, and I've already spoken about that at length as to why Canelo will never get within sniffing distance of Salvador Sanchez. But Canelo's never beaten anybody great legitimately, and that's just the truth. He's beaten a lot of very good fighters. Billy Joe Saunders, very good. Caleb Plant, very good. Callum Smith, very good, even though I thought he was a bit overrated at 168. But still, very good nonetheless. Ring Magazine champion. Beat a lot of very good guys. Never not nobody great. And for those that don't know, there is a fine line between very good and great. Canelo beat a lot of very good guys. Never beat nobody great. And never had no sensational performance against another great fighter. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all let me know what you think. Do you agree with Canelo? Do you think that Terence Crawford's resume isn't that great? And listen, if they do fight, what kind of chance do you give Terence Crawford? Because I'm going to tell you this. Canelo Alvarez is going to rely on being a big counter puncher. I'm going to tell you this. He's not going to out-counter punch Terence Crawford. He's made his bones being this aggressive pressure counter puncher. He's not going to out-counter punch Terence Crawford if they ever fight. The only way Terence Crawford is losing that fight is if the stamina just can't hold throughout 12 rounds. That's Canelo's only hope. Because when it comes to skill for skill, he is not better than Terence Crawford. I know that, and even the biggest Canelo fanboys in the world, deep down in the pit of their stomach, in the depths of their soul and their hearts, they do not know. They know Canelo Alvarez is not the counterpuncher or the skilled fighter Terence Crawford is, and that's just the truth. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys think about Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford and Canelo's comments about Terence Crawford's resume? Do you think his resume ain't that great and Canelo Alvarez is just as being all these great fighters? Because I don't see it. I think he's beat a lot of very good guys. Daniel Jacobs, Trout, older Cotto, who had just beaten Sergio, who was still very good, but not. I don't think he beat nobody great. legitimately. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.